Welcome to my audience. This is the Thursday Executive Brief. 5 minutes, 1 leadership challenge, 3 executive moves, 1 action for the week. No theory, no fluff, just execution. So let's get to it. Hello to my audience. Welcome back on the Executive 5. I hope you had a fantastic week so far. Let's get right into it. Today's topic, you're delegating the one thing you should never delegate. There's one mistake senior leaders make that looks sophisticated from the outside and hollow from the inside. They stay close to the strategy, close to the board, close to the vision, and far too far from execution. They tell themselves they are empowering the team. They tell themselves they hired good people for a reason. They tell themselves their job is to set direction, not to get pulled into the machinery. And all of that sounds reasonable until the business starts drifting. Because execution is the one thing a leader can support, shape, and demand, but never fully outsource. So what's the challenge here? This is where executives quietly lose credibility. They still attend the big meetings, they still talk about priorities, they still ask for updates, but somewhere along the line they stop treating execution as a personal leadership responsibility and start treating it like a reporting category. That is the shift that hurts the business. When execution gets handed off entirely to the process owners, operational leaders, or delivery teams, something subtle happens. Strategy stays elegant at the top while reality starts breaking underneath it. Deadlines slip, standards soften. Accountability becomes slower. Meetings multiply. Everyone is working, but momentum fades. And the executive becomes a presiding figure instead of a driving force. This does not mean leaders should micromanage. It means they cannot disappear from the discipline of execution, because execution is not admin. It is the act of converting intention into reality. And if the executive is absent from that conversion, the organization starts learning a dangerous lesson. Results matter in theory, but follow-through is somebody else's problem. That is when culture changes, not in one dramatic moment, but in the slow normalization of drift. So let me give you 3 moves to catch this drift and work against it. Number 1, stay personally attached to the critical few. You do not need to hover over everything, but you do need to remain visibly attached to the few outcomes that actually move the business. Not every task, not every workflow, the critical few. Which priorities are non-negotiable? Which commitments define the quarter? Which outcomes will tell you whether strategy is becoming real or staying theoretical? Choose those, name them, and stay close enough that your involvement signals seriousness. When executives detach too early, teams often mistake delegation for reduced importance. Move number 2, make follow-through a leadership ritual. Execution weakens when it only appears in update meetings. The strongest executives create a visible rhythm around follow-through. They ask what moved, what stalled, what is off track, and what decision is now required. They do not just receive progress theater, they test momentum. That is the difference. A leader who only asks for updates gets stories. A leader who asks for movement gets truth. Execution needs a cadence, a visible pulse, a recurring discipline that tells the organization this is not a one-time burst of enthusiasm, this is how we lead here. Move number 3, own the standard, not just strategy. Many executives are comfortable owning the vision. Fewer are willing to own the standard of delivery. But that is where real leadership lives. If execution quality is slipping, if deadlines are becoming flexible, if accountability is thinning out, that is not just an operational issue, that is a leadership signal. Owning execution means owning the standard of what done looks like, what on time means, what accountability requires, and what happens when drift appears. You can delegate tasks, you can delegate process, you can delegate responsibility. You cannot delegate the standard. And here's your weekly challenge. This week, identify one strategic priority you have been overseeing from too far away. Re-enter it, not to control it, but to clarify the outcome, tighten the rhythm, and make the standard visible again. Because leadership is not proven by the elegance of the plan, it is proven by whether the plan survives contact with reality. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I see you next week Thursday on the Executive 5. Take care. And that was it for today. Remember, precision beats intensity every time. Execute the move, run the challenge, and I'll see you next Thursday for the next Executive Brief.